Welcome to yet another day. It's Good Morning Anambra show, our breakfast TV show right here on ABS TV. I will welcome you to this morning's edition of Good Morning Anambra. My name is Chidinma Oranwa. Of course, this morning we'll be bringing your way stories that are trending on ABS website and all the national dailies. And we have a guest seated right here with us in the studio, and Michael Anchor right here in the studio. But you get to meet them after this break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to the show. As you can see, we are already seated here to bring your way the trending stories on the national dailies, and I have my colleague seated right here with me this morning.
Good morning, Leon Brown. My name is Ajulu Chukwokabwe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy what we have for you this morning.
And our guest this morning is Magnus Ezreku. He's a public affairs analyst. Glad to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning, viewers, and thank you for having me.
All right, so just to let you know that you can be part of the discussion right here in the studio, all you need to do is just to dial the number that is displayed in front of your television set this morning. Quickly, we are going to start with the stories that are trending on ABS website. And the first story we have on our website this morning is investment base. Anambra ABGA chairman drums support for Soludo. AIRS seals shops at Marine Modern Market on which arrests individuals over tax evasion. Anambra West Transition Committee chairman lots dislodging of suspected hoodlums from camp in forest. Okay, these are the stories we have trending on our website this morning. They are three stories. I'd like us to start with the very first one, where the ABGA chairman is drumming support for people to bring back their investment in Anambra State. I mean, to heed the call of a colonial policy by the present administration.
It's a welcome development, and we must applaud the governor for trying to bring such programs. The former governor Willie Obiano, started such program. And the present governor is trying to continue from his successor. But what they need to do is to tidy up the security situation in Anambra. It's very, very bad today. I saw some people saying that Anambra is safe. I said, don't say that. Anambra is not safe now. We need to package our security situation and get it right. Then, if you are calling people to come home, they will be free to do that. So the Anambra government should work up modality to make sure we settle the situation in Anambra. If you go to people like Ihala, I'm from Ihala, we don't go home again. You know, if you go to people like places like Ihala, people don't usually go home. We do burials outside and all that. And then you tell me that Anambra is safe. It's not true. The truth of the matter is that you need to arrange the security situation in Anambra and get it right. Then all these things will be happening. If you're saying about these things, it's okay.
When we say that Anambra is not safe, I don't agree with you 100% on that, because you would tell me that the situation is as worse as before this present administration joined, assumed office anyway, because we have been having, arrest of hoodlums of people that are actually perpetrating this evil.
They are trying their best.
They are trying their best. So, and you know that it's not just Anambra State, it's all over the country. This case of insecurity is happening everywhere. And we still know that there are some places, flashpoints that we still need to visit. But then again, saying that it's not safe at all, I don't agree with you.
I'm not trying to.
But then it's your opinion at the end of the day, and we must commend the present administration and also all the security agencies working to see that insecurity is brought down to the barest minimum in Anambra State.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly, let's also see the other story there, talking about stealing of shops at Marine Modern Market on Onitsha because people have decided not to be paying their taxes.
Paying of tax is a wonderful situation in every developing environment. And if you don't pay your tax, then you don't want your state to be developed. So the sealing of that thing is a wonderful development. They should continue to seal it until they start paying. It's a nice thing. Our people should cultivate the habit of paying their taxes. It's what the government is using to develop the state. And if you don't pay your tax, you don't expect development. So what they are doing in Marina is a nice one. They should continue and make people to pay. But they should not people that don't have the habit of paying. It's always difficult, but they should organize a way to make them pay so that they will get what they want to be able to do what they are doing in the state.
All right, thank you so much for that. Let's quickly see what we have on the national dailies this morning.
Thank you. And the first paper for review this morning is the Daily Sun, and the banner headline there says, "Protest rocks Benin City over fuel price." The rider there says, "Demonstration says Tinubu government choking Nigerians to death." You can find that story on page 6. And then another rider there saying, "President APC didn't promise overnight solution." That's coming from Oshomole. And then you have Anambra Joint Security Forces storm gunmen den, arrest 9, recover vehicles.
Beautiful.
And then we are still talking about tribunal. INEC can't explain Tinubu's victory, claims Obi. The rider there says 2 billion votes from 18,000 polling units unclear. And then you have PAP. Group accuses Ndi Omu of harassing staff after documents leak. Yakubu, INEC didn't receive direct funding from foreign development partners. Tribunal nullifies election of LP's Okoli as reps member and returns Elumelu. Find that on page 27. Reps roll out 6 legislative agenda, promise to prioritize healthcare, economy, and diversification. NGE joins 50 other media groups, practitioners to endorse global principles for compensation by Google and Facebook. And Kogi, again, hoodlums raise SDP Guba candidates campaign office. That's on page 27. And the last but not the least, Atiku escapes death in his Adamawa residence. 2 arrested, PDP demands probe. That you can find on page 29. The protest in Benin, what's your take on that, Magnus?
The situation on ground calls for that. You know, I've said it on this platform that APC is a scam. And I'm blaming Gage for that. Goodluck Jonathan gave these people the opportunity to come to this country, to ravage this country with their wickedness. APC did not have any program for Nigeria. Well, what they are coming out for then was vendetta. And that is why Nigerians is crying today. And when Tinubu came on board, the people say, he's a progressive, you do this, you do that. But people like me knew that they wouldn't come up with anything better than what is happening today. And see the type of hardship in Nigeria. Yesterday, I was in a filling station, I bought for 630 naira. 630 naira. How can people cope with that? You see, I see a situation whereby more demonstrations are coming up. And it's because of the type of hardship in Nigeria. And if there is no measure to curb this situation, it will continue like that. We are praying God that the tribunal will do something better so that even if his article could have come up, it's better for Nigeria than what is happening today. So that is the situation.
All right, quickly. The tribunal here, this is an interesting story as it concerns the tribunal, just like you made mention of it now. INEC can't explain Tinubu's victory. That's coming from the LP presidential candidate.
It's obvious.
The rider is saying that 2 million votes from 18 polling units unclear. 18,000 polling units unclear.
It's obvious. We all saw it in the election. How can somebody like in Anambra, I'm not sure that APC got up to 10% in the last election, and they were declared winner. Tinubu said,
Anambra is just a state.
I know. Yes, we are talking about. Let us start with Anambra now. Anambra is a state, and if you judge with the arrangement, the Southeast state, I know that all the Southeast state put together did not give APC 10%. I'm very sure. I'm very, very sure. Yet they are declared winner. You see, in Nigeria, the level of impunity that INEC has demonstrated in this last election is what they must be questioned about, because situations like that, they need to overhaul all the system in INEC, and they have caused Nigeria so much damage. You don't use because you need to make money, and because of that you do some stupid things. When Goodluck was contesting for election, you say nobody's ambition is what in Nigeria dying, you know. But today, APC want to do it anyhow, and that is why they forced the INEC officials to do what they did in the last election. And what P2B is saying is not out of place. It's making sense, because it is obvious that INEC totally rigged. If you last 2 days or something ago, Shane was asking Festus Okoye, because they came up with a nonsense English. That's a glitch. What sort of nonsense glitch is that? You told Nigeria that are going to give Nigeria the best of elections, and by the end of the day, you turn around situations and gave us scam in the number of election.
Well, so let's await the judgment of the tribunal on the.
Thank God what is happening in the judiciary. I feel that they are going to come up with something better for Nigerians.
Well, let's hope. We are hopeful about that. And quickly, let's go to the next paper we have for review this morning, and that's the New National Star. And the banner headline is still talking about, this is Obasanjo dropping his bombshell here. Obasanjo bombshell: Nigeria is living dangerously on a keg of gunpowder, and more people driven into poverty through poor policy implementation. We have not always put the round peg in the round hole. Says, as a nation, Nigeria has disappointed Africa and the world. And Imo Guba, opposition parties kick as Uzodinma imposes 554 million fee on campaign billboard. In Adamawa, Binani urges court to halt suspending Rex persecution. And then 2003 polls, we did not receive funding from international partners. That's coming from INEC. And we have FCCPC to fine POS operators 1 million for illegal charges. And we have federal government NIA plan insurance cover for travelers. And still on the tribunals, you see there, tribunal sacks LP's Okolie, declares PDP's Elumelu winner of rep seat in Delta State. Mass burials disclosed identities of NSAS protesters, says Amnesty International. Ghanaian minister arrested after $1 million cash scandal. Enugu residents defy IPOB's sit-at-home order. Protests in Enugu. And the last but not the least, police arrest 4 suspects plotting to attack Atiku, others in Yola. That's really good. Quickly, let's see the bombshell our former president is talking about in the person of Olusegun Obasanjo. Nigeria living dangerously on a keg of gunpowder.
Sometimes when most of these our leaders talking, I don't listen to them. because when the election, we are preparing for election, they will not come out and make categorical statements and all that. And when the election is over, they will come up with stupid talks. When this election, we were organized for this election, I didn't hear Obasanjo saying categorically that Nigeria should support a particular candidate.
You didn't hear him?
I didn't hear him.
Were you in Nigeria?
Yes, I was in Nigeria. He was.
I don't think you were in Nigeria.
No,
if you were in Nigeria, you will know that Obasanjo's candidate was LP's presidential
candidate.
Yeah, that was his choice.
He was not out. He wasn't making any categorical statement about that. But that is, by the way, what he's saying is Nigeria is bleeding. Everybody knows that. You don't hand over a country into the hands of cabals. And that is what is happening in Nigeria today. And that is why they are fighting.
In your own estimation, what would have happened if you don't hand over a country like Nigeria in the hands of cabal? In your own opinion, what should have happened? Isn't there a process of electing a leader?
The truth of the matter is that anybody that's coming to be a president of Nigeria must have an agenda on a personal note.
Yeah.
On a personal note. You must have an agenda. With the happenings in this few days,
Magnus,
you understand that
Magnus,
this man does not have a clear-cut agenda.
Let's go the normal process.
Yeah.
No matter the agenda you have, you must seek nomination from your political party. You understand? Before you now go contesting. So there is a political process to emerging a president of a country. And all of that was done in the last election. You understand? So that Nigerians are talking, or Obasanjo is saying that Nigeria is living dangerously, is based on the policies of previous administration and the one that we are experiencing now. So saying that you can't hand over a country to cabals, you're making it seem as if we are in one form of military rule. But this is a democratic process that we are in. I know.
It's a democratic process that brought them up. But that democratic process was questioned because the way in which they came about is questioned.
That is why they are still in court, in the tribunal, trying to bring the necessary facts to see.
My prayer is that the judiciary must do their work. If they are sincere with this country, they must end all this razzmatazz.
Well, the judiciary is actually the one on trial this time around.
Yes.
Because Nigerians are really waiting
for
to
them.
see what happens.
Yes, they must help us in this country.
Quickly, this story about in Imo, where the opposition parties are lamenting about
it's synonymous with most of the governors.
54 million naira fee for you to hang your campaign billboards. Elections are quite getting close in Imo State. So
it's synonymous with most of our governors. It is always like that. When the last election was being held here, it was like that. You put your banner, by the next morning, you see that it has been destroyed. They tell you because you did not do this, you did not do that. It's almost the same thing, you know. Whenever that is the power of incumbency, they always demonstrate those power. They will always showcase that they are in charge and all that. So it's not a it's not a new thing, but the way they are doing it in Imo State now, you know, Hope Uzodinma is a mafia. He will always do his own a different way. So it's a normal thing.
Yeah, quickly, let's go to
what we have on Daily Times this morning. The big story there: Nigeria leaving on keg of gunpowder. Obasanjo knocks Tinubu's economic policies. That's the banner headline, just as we have on the front page of the National Star newspaper. FCTA demolishes more buildings in Abuja. That's on the top story of the Daily Times this morning. Down there, appeal court okays sack of all company directors. And we can still see the picture in the front page of the Daily Times this morning. You can still see those civil society organization, they are protesting, and from that, what the banner they are carrying, say no to continuous hike in fuel prices. Federal government allow the poor breathe. Fuel price is choking us. And then you can see there, leave a positive impact in your host communities. NYSC boss tells core members. Ogun investigator origin of killer alcoholic drink, and then auto crash in Asaba severes victims in 2. Okay, let's quickly see what we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Subsidy pain, Labour top stuff, ASU, protesters condemn relief plans. SANU ASU say fuel subsidy unintelligently removed. NLC meets today. TUC rejects 5% telecom tax. Plan tuition hike. Kwara, Ogun roll out palliatives. And then most Nigerians leaders knowledge of development shallow, still coming from the former president of Obasanjo. Forest crisis, passengers groan as foreign airlines hike fares. Navy won't stop burning vessels, ferrying stolen crude. Supervisors, invigilators selling WAEC questions online, arrested and on trial, coming from WAEC boss. Pregnant women, children among Ondo tanker fire victims, eyewitness, and the Osun student hospitalized as gunmen opened fire on Baba's shop. Okay, these are the stories that we have on the front pages of the Daily Times and the Punch newspaper this morning. Let's quickly talk about this subsidy pain, subsidy removal. Of course, you can see that's the big story in the front page of the Punch newspaper, where the Labour, they're going to meet today. At the end of the day, we'll still know what they came up with. And then you see a lot of people protest. Even in Edo State, people came out to the street to protest.
In fact, it's a nice thing to do now, to protest. It's the best thing to do. If you see Labour going to have meetings and all that, is delaying process. They should also hit the street with protests, you know. Nigerians, we are bleeding really, like Obasanjo rightly said. Things are getting harder on a daily basis. You can't come on board within the space of 3 months or 2 months ago. You have already hitting hard on the country. And it's not really fair. APC should really adjust their program and give Nigeria something better, because it's really hitting hard on the country. And nobody is taken lightly on something. So the protest is a welcome development. Me personally, I love that.
Okay. Let's also see this story coming from the West African Examination Council that supervisors and invigilators are actually selling questions online to students.
That's the level of
a high level of examination malpractice. I don't understand why an invigilator, someone working with an organization like WAEC, go online to sell questions to students.
It's a pity. It's a pity. This situation in Nigeria is terrible. That is why sometimes I tell the clerics to do their job. They should leave politics alone. They should really do their job to cultivate the real moral into the people. Because sometimes I ask questions whether these people are really hearing the word of God at all. Because if they are hearing the word of God at all, the level of impunity that people go into.
Let's even forget about hearing the word of God. Let's look at it like in human levels. Human beings. Yeah. Now, you know that you're writing an examination. For you to qualify or for you to pass, it means that you have studied hard for you to pass. Now, when these questions are handed over to you, and probably you just go and read and write and come out, what kind of graduates do we expect to have at the end of the day?
The type we have in Nigeria today now, half-baked graduates. That is the output. You see, I don't know whether it's overhauling that will do the system or what to get it right, but I know that someday I'm optimistic that Nigeria will be better, because the level of things that is happening in this country today, I don't know whether we are come from the animalistic kingdom. You know, what is happening today, God will help us. Don't know what.
Well, It's up to us. Let's not just say God will. Or when you catch someone doing something evil, you say it's the devil and all that. Let's just take responsibility. Yes. Because when you talk about WAEC, it's West African Examination.
That brings to question.
And we are hearing this from Nigeria. What about other countries?
That brings to question this girl that they say that he has an issue with the high exams, because somebody was telling me that maybe they forced that girl to say that she did what she did.
Well, let's not go into all that, because we really don't know what actually happened, because they said they conducted an investigation and she owned up to the crime. Let's just not go into that. Let's quickly see what we have on the other papers. We have the Daily Independent and This Day newspaper.
Quickly, let's go to see what we have in the Daily Independent. TUC to Tinubu, subsidy cut burden can't be on masses only. And then asking to cut cost of governance. That's coming from the TUC. And subsidy removal. Fuel stations consider sack of workers. And the rider there says protesters hit streets in Benin. CSOs lament cost of living. And foreign transactions on NGX rise to 145.1 billion naira in 6 months. No going back on withdrawal of mobile policemen from VIPs. That's coming from the police. How 20 persons got burnt in Ondo fuel tank fire disaster. PDP raises alarm over attempted attack on Atiku. Kwara government okays palliatives to cushion effect of fuel subsidy removal. Most leaders lack understanding of their position. That's coming from the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. And global principles for fair compensation involving publishers, Google, Facebook, others launch. And then we rely only on FG funding to organize elections. That's coming from Yakubu. And quickly, let's see what we have because of want and time on the This Day newspaper. And the banner headline there says, Obasanjo, Nigeria is sitting dangerously on a keg of gunpowder. Says government driving people to poverty through poorly managed managed good policies. Declares nation as disappointed Africa and the world. Prides himself of recruiting some of the best hands. Police arrests 4 suspects in plot to attack Atiku orders. PDP demands inquiry. France says security beef up around ex-BP. And then RSA arms proliferation sustained by absence of punishment for offenders. And that's what we have. And TUC gives 2 weeks to conclude negotiations on subsidy. That's all we have for This Day newspaper this morning. Quickly, let's see the one that is this issue of attack on Atiku. As in, is it a flag that we are seeing here, or is just mere coincidence? I really don't know what to say, but it's something to really talk about. What's your take on that, Magnus?
It's a normal thing in the political environment. So, and Nigeria's situation is getting hard. It's getting worse this time. You hear about those things. What I remember them in the hands of these people in government. There's a man they call Barrister in Lagos those days. He was attacked and killed. The man that was supposed to be the PDP candidate of Lagos State some years back. It was a Lagosian. So it's synonymous with people. These people in government today. They attack people that they feel that they might take over their position. Our leaders should understand that leadership is not a do or die affair. They should understand that the people are waiting for them, and it's not a situation of do or die. Even if you kill Atiku today, somebody, if the tribunal nullifies the election, somebody must emerge. So there's no point trying to attack an innocent man that contested to serve his country. So they should all understand that it's not like that. We must be able to be positive and be civil in the way we run our things because of election. That is the position.
Since 4 people, suspects, are already in the police net, probably they will tell us more.
What happened?
About that.
Yes, what happened?
And quickly, Chidima, do you have anything of interest that you want to talk about on either of these papers?
Let's see what we have on other papers this morning. We still have like 3 papers to go, so let's quickly see what we have on the Nation newspaper this morning. Subsidy removal, more states roll out palliatives. That's what we have there as a banner headline on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And then we still have up there, Tinubu will fix insecurity, says Akpabio. So we still have hope. Now, how we will end sit at home by state government that cannot not in support of sit at home. And then resident doctors gives conditions to halt planned strike. Tribunal sacks Delta Labour Party rep for Elumelu. And then the foreign inflows rise by 70% in the second quarter. NGS report, retained funds hit 44%. Okay, why industries shun discourse by experts? NEC criticizes high electricity consumption rate by households. Amnesty requests inquest into bodies for mass burial in Lagos State. Okay, this are what we have at the front page of the Nation newspaper. So after all hope is not lost, because Akpabio is still saying that he believes that Tinubu will fix insecurity in our country. Do you also believe that?
Well, we must be optimistic as Nigerians because we are praying for better days. But the situation of things in Nigeria today, nobody is believing this government to do anything better from what they are doing. But we are praying that they must do something better. The truth of the matter is that there's no hope for this government, because when they came on board, we thought there's something better. But on the daily basis, you see that they are not doing anything better to change anything for positive in this country, anything better for better in this country. So if Akpabio is saying that they should start with cutting down their costs, the National Assembly costs. How can you say that National Assembly we use 70 billion for their allowances and all that? It's too much. When you're talking about the country is owing so much money, and they need to start cutting costs. That cutting cost issue is my concern. They need to cut costs of governance if really they want to get this country better. Are you following me? Okay. They want to give us good governance.
All right. What's also your take on this ending of sit at home right here in South?
It's a wonderful development, but the problem with sit at home is that who's going to be, everybody's afraid of being a victim, because if the governors want to stop it, they can do that. But if this hoodlums come out, they will attack some people, and nobody wants to be victim, and that is the fear. That is the fear.
But you can see that in Enugu yesterday they came out for a peaceful protest. We are marching around the street.
That is the level.
People are getting tired, actually. And just yesterday, one of the papers we are saying how much the Southeasterners have lost so far since we started this.
You see, those people that are doing that demonstration is the people that have sense. The problem we have in Southeast is our people are so gullible. Our people are so gullible, and if you fix any small story, they will buy into it, and that is the problem we're having here. If our people must be positive, you will understand that they can stop that sit at home, because even Nnamdi Kanu said they are not in support of that. The real IPOB said they are not in support of that. Is this hoodlums led by the man in Finland that is masterminding those nonsense. And South Hannes and Igbo will know what to do to get that man arrested, so that most of these things will stop.
Okay, just before we go, because we really don't have time again, we just have the Guardian and the Nigerian Tribune. So let's just look at the stories there. Made in Nigerian smartphones fumble as monthly importation hits 50 billion naira. That is what we have as banner headline in the front page of the Guardian newspaper. And we can also see there, as creativity goes awry under guise of skit making pranks. Okay, you know what is happening when you see some of these skit makers on the internet. Some people are actually forcing themselves to become online comedians these days. Nigeria has failed Africa. Poorly implemented policies drive citizens to poverty. This is a lamentation from the former leader Obasanjo. And then Akpabio eyes a constitutional role for traditional rulers as Abbas commits to restructuring. Petrol subsidy, making palliatives work for the people. And then the Nigerian Tribune.
The banner headline there says, how Tinubu can halt petrol pump price from hitting 1,000. That's coming from experts. Says free market not synonymous with complete absence of regulation. And then we have reps election. Tribunal sacks LP's Okoli. We've seen that, replacing him with Elumelu. 4 injured as story building collapses in Ibadan. And reps vow to recover over $9 billion gas flaring levy from IOCs and others. And gory details of our petrol tanker explosion. And we equally have the Kwara State governor approves 10,000 for workers, hazard allowances, 100,000 COMNES for doctors, and that's the much that we have this morning because of want of time. Well, quickly.
Okay, let's just talk about the Kwara State issue.
What are they saying?
10,000 naira approved for workers.
To cushion the effect of subsidy
It's a
removal.
welcome development. It's a nice one. But I think the best thing to do in this issue of cushioning, they should use most of this money to go and arrange our refinery to make sure that to have a better refinery, so that most of this issue of the subsidies, the hiking price will go down. If they have rectified our refinery, all this cushioning effect will just end, because 10,000 is okay, but some of the state governors cannot do that, and that is the problem. They should arrange to package our refinery so that our refinery will start working. If our refinery starts working, we will have hope on ending this hiking price of fuel, and that is the best thing to do.
All right, well, on that note, we want to say a very big thank you to you, Magnus Ezioku, for joining us on the show this morning. Thank you for being part of this
Thank you for
press review.
having me. Thank you.
Okay.